Hi, this is Terry with Central Valley Air Gunners and FoxAirPower.com. How's everybody doing? So today I want to show everybody how to replace the valve pin in my HP SS, and this will apply to all the HP models, basically, you know. So all right, let's get to it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is remove air from that air gauge there. If you've got like an Assassin or a carbine or anything with a bottle instead of a tank, the gauge is on these models right there, and you'd have to remove, back it off there until you hear the air coming out just a little bit. Just do it slowly until there's no more air left in the system. So we're gonna do my little HPSS 25 caliber pistol right now. It's got a regular crescent wrench, and just loosen it. Until you hear air come out, just a little bit. Nothing yet. Ooh. There it goes. You hear that? All right. So I'm going to walk away and let this completely drain out of its air, and I'll be back. Okay, that did not take very long, just a few minutes. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take this 4mm Allen, and we're going to loosen this grub screw right here, which loosens up the tank. That one right there. If you couldn't see, it's this one. You don't have to take it all the way out. Just loosen it. And this is where the gauge would go if you've got a bottle, you know, like I said, like an Assassin or a carbine. So with that grub screw loose, I'm just gonna gently pull that bottle out, not to hurt these O-rings, you know. Right here is where the grub screw seats. That holds the tube in. So, okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we have to expose that port right there. So that's next. So of course we have to remove the shroud here. We're going to expose the action. You're going to need a 4mm. You're going to remove these 4 bolts. And my model pistol, these 3 grub screws right here. There's a pin. You're going to need a hammer and a punch to punch that pin out. We're going to slide this barrel out slightly here, so I won't bore you with actually twisting the wrenches and stuff. So let me get the stuff out and I'll be right back. All right, I've got the 4 bolts out that go here. I've got the pin out that belongs in this hole right here. Grub screws are loose. Now that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I've introduced a piece of wood and a screwdriver. We don't have to take this action out. We don't have to take this all the way out. What I'm going to do here with this piece of wood, move around here, is slide this out and wedge that piece of wood in there like that. That gives us room to remove this, the cover for the spring and valve pin. So I'm going to take a flathead screwdriver. Let me see. I can zoom in a little bit there. Okay. I'm trying to look through the camera to unscrew this. It's better if I look off to the side. I can actually see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Set that aside. Here's the hammer, or the valve pin spring to come out, and it came out with the valve pin. There's your valve pin. Now, if your valve pin is broken, it's this this half might be inside of here, and you might have to fish it out. It might be inside of there, but no big deal. Get some hemostats or something, and you can get it right out, no problem. So that's your valve pin. Of course, this one's not broke. To put the new valve pin in, of course, let's seat it on the spring, and I'm gonna slip it in there. I wish I could get a better angle. Let me see here. I still can't really see in there. There's a place for this pin to go into there, believe me. Dang, I just can't get the shot. Can you see it? There it is. Okay, slip that pin in there. Right in, and put your cover back on. There is an O-ring on this cover, so let's be careful of that. Let's get it started by hand. Hey, see where the notch is there on the barrel? That's where that pin goes that we took out earlier. So just gonna screw this back on. There's a fly. It's like 100 degrees in here right now. I'll tell you in a second what the temperature is outside. Hold on. So tighten that. You're gonna have to kill it, but get it tight. Okay? Get off of there, fly. Let's remove this piece of wood. Slide that back into place. Let's see. Where does that pin go? See that? Where the pin goes? See, I'm taking it out of place there, and now I'm going to slide it back into place. Beautiful. Pin's going to go all the way through there. Tap it into place with a punch. We're going to lock these 3 grub screws down. We're going to put these 4 bolts back into place on this clip that holds the shroud on. So let me get all that done, and I'll be right back. Oh, and it's 95 right now, and it's just past noon, and it's going to be 106 degrees here today. Yay. Okay, I've got that all back together. I've got these 4 screws back in. Hey, when you tighten this down, do it evenly all the way around, you know, like you would a car wheel, to ensure that this guiding hole for this connecting rod is aligned with the rod, so it ensures free movement back and forth there. So anyway, grub screws are tightened down, the pin's in, so we can put the shroud on and put the air tank back in. Put this way. So make sure that, like I said, this, what would you call that? The seat is facing up to meet the grub screw. Looks, get it lined up there nicely. Okay. Take your number 4 again. I'm going to tighten down that grub screw, and in effect, tightening down the air tube. So that's it. It's back together. The last thing we're going to want to do, and I'll do that right now. We're going to tighten up this air gauge again. And you don't want to go really tight. I don't know. How would you describe this? Maybe, that's maybe 10, 15 pounds of pressure as I, apply force. So last thing to do is to put air in this thing. So let's do that. I'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and put air in this thing together. Of course, this is the tube. This is my HP SS pistol. If you're working with something like this, Assassin or a carbine, the fill probe for the air is right there, and that's an 8mm fill probe. All right. Of course, we're working with a tube, my HP SS pistol, and it has a 7mm fill port, and here is the 7mm fill probe. So put it in there. Nice fit. Let's get her going. You want to go slow, right? Just take your time with it. You're basically, well, you're filling an empty tank, so that's probably too fast. Get it to go slower. The tank's going to be warm, so good practice to fill that to 25 MPa, and then shut the air off, pull the fill probe, let this air cylinder cool down, and the pressure will probably drop slightly. So once the tube cools down, you can top it off again, and it will stay at 25 MPa for you until you're ready to use it. I've tested these guns for days and days on end to, like a pressure test. They hold there. All right, so we're approaching 25 MPa here. Tube is warm. Okay, there we go. All right, cutting off the air, bleeding the line, and I'm pulling the fill probe. So I won't bore you with topping it off again, but that's how you fill it up. So, and this is how you change out a valve pin in an HP gun. Very simple. All right, she's back together and ready to rock and roll. That did not take long. So I'm glad I did this. And that's about it, man. So this is Terry with Central Valley Air Gunners and FoxAirPower.com. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and see you next time.